that Ivan Bates been trying to get passed, as far as it is what it is, man. I don't care what the situation is. In my community, I want everybody to be safe. And I know that there's underworld dealings going on in all communities. But I still wanted to be some sort of safetyness in the community. Am I right, King, a little bit?
Yeah, you right.
So, somewhat of that, and his bill is still hanging out there. That's why I'm going to Medicaid. His bill is still hanging out there. Now, they had a bill passed immediately, guys. Did y'all know that? The transgender bill got passed immediately. Immediately. With no answers across the table, immediately. Not only did it get passed, in this bill, and I'm comparing the Medicaid system to all normal people in this transgender situation, like they're not normal people. They are normal people who just transform themselves. That's what the word says, trans, right? Transform, okay. But again, I say, in this bill that they have the right to get cosmetic surgery, Kevin. We talked about that earlier today, King, and, they have the right to get cosmetic surgery. Here, I can't even get dental work done through my Medicaid. And is dental work cosmetic surgery? Am I right or wrong? Dental work is cosmetic surgery.
Yes, it is.
Here, we normal folks can't even get dental work done. But yet they can get all types of weird things done to their bodies cosmetically through Medicaid now. Free. Through your pockets now. And you can't even get it. So you almost in a situation, talked about the JJ situation, commercial television. 1, 2, you get this. 3, you know the commercial talking about? You know the commercial talking about, King? Okay, you see how you had to get all these supplemental plans just to have
one good plan.
One good plan. He passed one great plan for them off the top. They get any surgery they want, King.
Who passed it?
Governor Wes Moore, who the guy claims to
not the Maryland, the ball that y'all went to the booth, cause
I told you about that. Yeah, I told you about the black addiction at the booth. We talked about that before, King.
So we get what we voted for.
We getting what we got. We getting what we got now. Not what we voted for. We got it now. We getting what we got, King.
Well, see, the reason why I say what you voted for, because that's what you voted for.
Yes, right. But King, I say, man, King, Medicaid has been given the freedom to create monsters now. That's why I wanted to talk to you about when I said about the Greek mythological monsters. You remember the chimera? He had a 2-head. He had a 2-head. He had horns. You remember the troglodytes and things of that nature? Those who created monsters according to biblical Greek myths through God's playing with genes. God's playing through medicine and stuff like that, according to Greek mythology, right?
Yeah.
All right? So now what we have unleashed now in our normal society is the chance to create monsters now. And freely now. Freely, with your money, King. With your money coming out your check, King. With your money coming out your check, King. So that's why I wanted to talk about Medicaid, King. Now, what are we led back to believe that these people are talking about no one left behind, King? That's your motto. You know how you feel about. I know how you feel about the no one left behind thing. You know what I mean? Now, what is the overall gain from this for the overall society?
Well, Ty, I've been trying to tell you, coming from a traditional standpoint to where we are now with this modern day, with this modern day those traditional standards no longer hold any merit.
Can you say that?
And because of that, I mean, again, I talked to your son this week. I didn't know those your nephews.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gene, I spoke with Ty's son, his 2 nephews. I have to recount something. And there is hope, because I've talked to these 3 brothers, and they had their heads on. For some young dudes, they know exactly what's going on out here, and they navigating through the pit holes, and they understand. The only part that I would like for them to get more knowledge on is the political system and how it runs and how it applies to their lives, especially now as young men.
As they growing up,
You know, but as far as this transgender stuff, again, I've been telling you that in modern times, at 25 years old, your mind is not developed enough to be responsible for the criminal activities that you participate in, the most heinous criminal activities.
You talk about under this new understanding.
Hey, I'm just saying about this modern times that they got.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? But in the same time, these same people who are putting forth these bills talking about 25 years old don't have strong minds. These are the same ones that are telling you that a 4-year-old can determine their sex. They're the same people that's telling your 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds, because those are the ones that are in high schools, that it's okay for you to put things in your body and alter your body without your parents' permission, and all you really have to do is go to a counselor and make it known, or a teacher. And even now, I told you that last week, one of the things that Mayor Scott was talking about doing was partnering with the school system, identifying at-risk problem youth and actually going into their homes to find out what they can do to improve the home life. Again, we start branching off into things in areas where we really have no business. The school's job is to teach, and they're not doing a very good job of that currently.
Yeah. You got something you want to say about that, kid?
Oh, I was going to piggyback off what he said, and what you said with the this way, that way. And I think we had this conversation before. It's a middle ground.
You tell me.
We don't need to go way back where we were.
Yeah.
The way we are at right now, we can't go either. We gotta find a middle ground.
Good call, kid. Good call. That's a good call. You talked about that about a month or so ago about that. We debated it, but we talked about that a month ago. I remember that conversation. King, but again, I say, King, like Kev said, he said a common middle ground. That's again what we always say at the Tyrone now, that we always find some type of common middle ground in the conversations that we try to have. But I just sit there and think about, wow, man, the situations of, we almost like Britain. In Britain used to have a teeth problem. They had people running around with raggedy mouths. Couldn't get their mouths fixed.
Yes.
Before we fixed that, we allowed people to just change themselves into monsters. I say, King, I say monsters. I don't care how you want to look at it. They put horns and spikes and things of that nature. I mean, it's just some of this biblical stuff that was written down, how people would defame themselves.
Okay, well, you bring biblical into it, and, I know your mother likes when I chime in, because it seems like I know a lot about the Bible, but this is what the Bible said. When they asked Jesus, when we know, the end days are here. And he said, when they're back in the times of Noah. And what we don't spend a lot of time on, because they say they don't understand the whole thing. So when you go back to the Greek mythological creatures and things like that, a lot of people want to just put that off as just myth.
Just as myth. Yeah.
I want you to understand that there were genetic experiments taking place back then.
Thousands of years ago.
And contrary to popular belief, if you really believe everything, it also tells you there's nothing new underneath the sun. So there's nothing that we're doing now that they didn't do back then, or has not been done in some point in time. But because of our modern thinking, we are beyond arrogant, and we think we know everything. I mean, again, they say things like, again, to justify their bestiality and their mentality, they say things like, the people who wrote the Bible couldn't understand what, They couldn't understand the love that a man would have for another man, and that they didn't understand what homosexuality was. And when I started to debunk that, and I started going at him, that I was labeled this, that, and the third, and I'm like, no, just speak. I was like, if you claim to be Christian, like a lot of you people do say, I don't claim to be Christian.
That's right. There you go.
But if you claim to be Christian, Christian means Christ-like. Christ-like means following in Christ's steps. So you would have to actually read the New Testament to see the steps that Christ took, what he went through. See, the misconception of steps is, walking. No, it is the trials and tribulations that he had and how he dealt with them. If you put yourself in Christ-like, when you go through the things that he go through, how did you deal with them when you were faced with those situations? That what would Jesus do type of mentality. But if you read, he tells you exactly what he did. You understand? Mm-hmm. This myth of him being this peaceful person.
No, I want you to pay attention to what I did, King. I took the word Medicaid.
Yeah,
and we done went all the way into biblical with Medicaid. You feel what you see what I did? Yeah. I wanted to do that because it goes to that level.
Well, because when you say Medicaid, you're talking about medical care.
Yeah, medical care.
And what we're dealing with, and what we are seeing out here, is a tremendous case of mental stupidity, not illness.
Not illness. Say stupidity. Good call. Good call. That was a good call there, King, because we've been talking about mental stupidity, not mental illness.
Not mental illness.
Mental stupidity. Mental stupidity is that it was just raining, and I seen a guy outside with the joints again. We'll talk about that again, but we'll talk about it a little bit later when we do the alert. We do the alert. Now that's mental. Yeah.
So, when you come from this standpoint, like where I come from, it's quick to you will be ostracized. People will look at you strangely, and they will tell you that you this, that, and the third. But this slow awakening, because that's what it is. Yeah. That people are coming into. They're starting to see it.
They starting to see it. You can't help but see it. I can't be a fool but so long.
You can't be a fool but so long. So once upon a time where, people made fun of me, now when my phone ring, when you think about this, because now all of a sudden, my words, my thoughts, my actions, they have merit now, and I'm just sitting back like, okay, well, why are y'all calling me? Y'all never called me before. But I have to understand that there's a drastic change going on. Yeah. And when I caught it, it was a while back. Again, a good 6 years ago, me and a friend of mine was talking, and I said something that kind of caught them off guard. I said, I don't understand how women and homosexual men could be best friends. I understand the friends, but the best friends, I don't get it. Because at the end of the day, I was like, they're after the same thing that you're after. And it's going to come to a point in time where they try to phase you out. And that was 6 years ago. But fast forward to now. You've had things come out there, they don't even call a woman a woman. You're a birthing person.
I know, they say all type of things. Yeah, bleeder.
You see what I'm saying?
That far.
You see what I'm saying? That far. 6 years ago when I had this conversation, I was laughed at.
Yet they don't like the determinations that were said about them.
Well, here's the thing, and I told you about this a couple weeks ago. When dealing with progressives, you have to understand the mentality. What's good for them is good for you, but what's good for you
ain't good for them.
Ain't necessarily good for them.
Kev, you got anything on your mind, man, you want to talk about, man?
I heard the progressive part, and that's what I am. I believe in people supposed to have their rights and their freedom.
Yes, sir. We do too.
As long as it don't inflict.
Say that again. Say that again.
And what I was talking about earlier is selfish nature. Yeah. If I can get away with something, I'm gonna keep.
You're right.
Push back on.
So you might push back.
And that's what's happening now.
So we're not pushing back?
Never push back.
We ain't pushing back then.
No,
we just allow it to overflow us.
They got rights.
It's overflowing us?
We gotta let it go.
No, kid.
Let it take its flow. Because it
burn its way out.
It's a part of that says everything has a new life. It's gonna die. It's gonna rebuild.
Well, I wanted to say again, he said that it reminds me of the cycle that I've talked about. Now, I want to see if you all agree with me when I say this. Good men, strong men, let me rephrase that. Strong men make good time.
Yep.
Okay? This is what we're enjoying right now. Good times. These are great times. Okay? Great times produce weak men.
Get too caught up in the moment, huh?
Weak men produce bad times.
We gotta make some moves.
Bad times make strong men. And strong men make good times. See the circle? So we're teetering in between strong and bad. We're about to fall off to the whole weak end of this thing because the way that things are going currently is not sustainable.
Well, we talk about that the things that they're creating are not sustainable. They're teaching pretty much grab and go right now.
Well, my point exactly, and it's not sustainable because again, how many times you gonna smash and grab before I decide that I'm no longer gonna put my business in your?
How about that?
In your
smash and grab one time, you get the fashion jeans and outfit because you stole them one time.
One time.
You ain't gonna get it no more.
You ain't gonna get it again. So you see out there in was it Oregon, Portland, Oregon? No, Oregon or Washington State, over there on the West Coast, where what is it? CVS been pulled out. They're not putting any more CVS's out there. We're done because we can't afford the losses. Because people are coming in there with grocery bags
and just
filling them up
and walking out the store.
And if the security guards, which brings us to that, if the security guard stops them,
he might get in trouble.
Well, he is because just here in Baltimore, we charge security guards with money for shooting a person who assaulted them
at the store that he was securing.
You know, so once again, we have a situation where the criminals or criminal behavior is
that's all the conversation is on television right now.
The victims are even
you talked about.
They're not even talked about, and they're trying to strip the victim of all rights. Because again, as you go back to the gun issue, I don't care what they say. They just changed a man was charged with murder. They changed it to justify
because he had a gun at his house. We got a call again. Yeah, because he had a gun at his house. Charles, hey brother Charles, how you doing, man?
What's up, Charles?
Yes, how's everybody?
Oh, we're great, man. What's on your mind? Something you want to chime in on, or something on your mind, brother Charles?
Yeah, y'all used a word that I don't think y'all really understand.
Go ahead.
The word sustainable.
Go ahead, give it to us.
Well, do y'all really understand what that word means?
How about explaining the way you understand it? Go ahead, why don't you give it to us? You on the air. Give it to us. You got the knowledge right now.
Okay, when they're talking about sustainable, they're talking about everything that they put in place, staying in place. About us being in our place.
Okay.
About them putting the building blocks for their ideas and it lasting forever, not our ideas.
Okay.
Our ideas are thrown away, and that is sustainable, which means that we don't matter.
Okay. So that should be sustainable. That's what everybody's saying. Okay.
Where sustainable development comes from, which is United Nations Agenda 21.
Okay.
Sustainability.
Okay, brother Charles. I mean, thanks for the information, brother. Anything else on your mind?
Oh yeah. So we are still talking in opinion, and I'm not talking facts.
Okay.
Well, I think we got to understand what a fact is. We got to establish what a fact is.
Okay, brother. But a fact,
Go ahead. I told y'all what a fact is too many times. I think y'all have to research what a fact is and come back and explain it.
But that's why you always get the chime to get on the air, because you got the knowledge and you give it to us while the way we're not getting it the way you say we should be getting it. That's why we give you the time on the air. But you just sit here and say, Brother Charles, that we don't get it, and we ain't getting it the way you get it, and we need to research. Let me just say,
because I think he directed that towards me because I used the words unsustainable. So let me tell you what I mean by unsustainable, so that we are clear and we understand what I mean. Now that I got your understanding of what sustainable means. Unsustainable means that there's no way that you can sustain or keep going what is already in motion. It means that inevitably it will break down. So that's what I mean by unsustainable. So right now, they can put things, their building blocks in place. Everybody has, through the course of time, put theirs in place. But somewhere along the line of time, it became unsustainable and it broke down. This is why we're at to now. Because the things, the building blocks that we had in place in the 80s, the 90s, whatever, those things were deemed unsustainable. And then these people, through trial and error, as you say, through their fact checking, came through, and what was fact to them, they brought to light. They didn't bring everything to light. So two things can be true at the same time. That's basically what I'm saying. So I hope you understand where I came from when I was saying unsustainable.
Brother Charles, go ahead, Brother Charles.
No opposing force to their sustainability.
Okay.
Which makes us unsustainable because we just use rhetoric and they use actions. They have start dates, they have end dates, and they have projects that actually materialize.
Well, again, I understand that, but you see, there also have been things that have been put in motion since the beginning of time. These things we know, but at the level that we're at, we can't affect much change the way that the system is. And these people that are in place now have been handpicked. This is an agenda that has been taking place since the 60s and has now culminated into what we have. So when you're saying what you're saying,
Hold
on, Brother Charles, we have a guest in today, Brother Kevin, and this is Brother Charles, Brother Kevin.
Hi, Mr. Charles. I would just want to know what you meant by them. You keep saying them set up a system and they got the system working the way they want it to work. So when you say them, who is them?
Right. Them is the republic. We are the public. They are the republic, which means they took our place and they eliminated us. That's why we have no position. We have no standing. We cannot be heard. We're just marginalized because they have taken our position and they laugh at us in our faces.
Thank you, Brother Charles. Hey, thank you, Gene. Brother Charles, thank you, man, for that, man. Hey, Brother Charles, again, I always say, man, thank you for your information, man. When you call in, man, you seem to have the right information, man, and you try to, it seems like you try to challenge other people's knowledge sometimes, but we have no problem with that, Brother Charles, because knowledge is infinite. You have knowledge, we have knowledge. You have an understanding, we have an understanding. We always appreciate your wisdom, though, brother. Thanks for calling.
And, just to chime in, remember, we talked about that. He said republic and public.
We talked about that before, yes, you did.
Yeah, and I used in terms, they use the terminology, we the people.
Yes.
And I said that when they say we the people, they're talking about themselves. And they refer to us as we the public.
That's right.
So what Charles is saying is 100% correct.
Yeah.
But again, these people have insulated themselves with corporate money, with people who understand how they think and feel. And this is why we are in the situation that we're currently in, because their funding is there. Everything comes back to money.
It's almost like we don't have it's almost back to brand naming. Like a brand name. We don't have a brand name. Something like that. I'm sorry. Again, I say history hit us in certain ways, but as though we didn't get certain parts of what was going on in society, branding our names, branding our crafts, branding our cereal, branding, Walmart, Kmart's, having that brand name throughout America. You get what I'm saying? With the Rockefellers and things of that nature. So I hear when we go to that type of stuff, but we kind of like lost out on that brand name thing as far as certain things like that, I believe. But we still have the opportunity to create in society. You got anything you want to say about that, Gabe?
Yeah, I was going to say, we still are creating.
Yeah,
It's just like
let's say, yeah, go
you
ahead.
were saying, when you don't have that funding,
Yeah.
but somebody else then picked up on that idea that you said you had, but they got that funding.
I got you.
So your branding ain't gonna get there if you don't have the funding, if you don't, and sometimes it's foundation.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, your beliefs can't go from here to there.
Yeah.
They gotta be steady, and what you said yesterday,
And I think you work next year, we're doing the same thing.
all the time.
And again,
That's who I
see,
am.
you know,
Gotcha,
people,
gotcha.
when we talk, you know, they say things like what Charles said are facts, but the facts are hidden, they're obscured. So, you know, it's not going to be put in the book. A person that's trying to kill you not going to tell you in your face they're trying to kill you. That's right. And if they wrote it in a book for generations down the line, it is it's an esoteric knowledge. Yeah, I'm going to use my 50 cent word, Charles mentality. So there's an esoteric knowledge. So it's only a certain person that's going to read it that's going to even understand what the meaning is. Everybody else will read it, and they'll get one meaning. That's the meaning. That, you know, again, that's a form of duality.
Get the website when you get a chance.
Sure. WFBR1590.weebly.com. You can also find us on YouTube at K-Thoughts, that's KAETHOUGHTS, one word. You can also find us on Spotify, and you can just punch in the Tyrone Hour, iHeartRadio, Google, Anchor, and you can also find us at Rumble or K-Thought, same handle, KAETHOUGHTS. It's all one word.
Thank you, brother. We're gonna set up something, King. I told you again we're gonna do a live thing up the bar again.
Okay.
We're gonna do it to set it up, and we did it once, but we didn't continue it. But we're gonna do another live show up there.
Oh, don't worry about it. I got you set up for the Tyrone hours / after hours.
There we go.
Got you right there.
Yep, we
So
gonna do that.
we're good to go.
And again, I say, man, here's the Tyrone Hour, man. We just try, man, to bring, awareness, man. And, it might be shocking the way sometimes it comes out from one of us or a guest host or something like that. But sometimes this is what we see. We are actually ones traveling through these communities.